Okay, to catch the stream recap up, we were talking about game development, specifically PokeMMO game development, okay? And I think they do a very different path than most other game developers. The easiest comparison is Fortnite. I don't hate Fortnite. I think people overly shit on Fortnite for social points. I don't think Fortnite's that bad of a game. It has certain problems and negatives and positives that are good to talk about because it's a very known game by a lot of people, okay? So over here, we're going to split it in half like this. On one side, we're going to have F for Fortnite. Here, we'll do top side's Fortnite, bottom side's PokeMMO, okay? That's all you need to know. So, top side, you have Fortnite, okay? What Fortnite does, their game development is like driving a car, okay? Here's the starting point, here's the finish line, the end point, okay? What Fortnite does is they try a bunch of different paths, okay? They don't have directions, they don't have GPS, they are going all over the place, okay? They have so many different paths that they can go, okay? They have a roundabout here because why the fuck not? They have so many paths, okay? Fortnite driving a car is like this, and they will reach the end of the road, and they'll just discover a lot of things in the process, and they will make a lot of mistakes, have some bad updates, and have a lot of problems along the way. How many people, like, there's so many Fortnite updates where patch is just shit, so people just don't play it for 2 to 3 weeks. But thankfully, they change the whole map and the whole game every 2 to 3 weeks, so fuck it. If a patch is bad, you just wait 2 weeks, right? That is positives and negatives. In PokeMMO, down here, right? PokeMMO is much more like this, where it is just one long, straight path. However, it takes much longer for them to drive that path, right? This is Fortnite's development cycle every 2 weeks. They do this in 2 weeks, okay? PokeMMO does this probably once a year, right? So we are slow and steady. PokeMMO is slow and steady, wins the race, and we are very careful about what we implement because we know that in an MMO system, if you implement a fucked up thing, it fucked up the economy. It could break the game for decades down the road. Look at Climbing Boots in RS3, right? We've seen this happen in other games. So, PokeMMO slow and steady, Fortnite fast and reckless and has different positives and negatives, okay? The other thing with PokeMMO, I will say that I don't understand, and we're probably just missing inside developer information, okay? Is that in my opinion, sometimes it seems like PokeMMO, it takes them longer to find the road, okay? It takes them longer to find the road than Fortnite, but when they find it, they wait until they find the perfect road and they travel it. Fortnite just takes the next road they can. Fortnite just goes on the next road. They always want to be driving, right? PokeMMO will take its time to find the perfect road to travel upon, and then once they find it, it'll be a straight shot to the exit, but it takes them longer to get started on that road. It also feels like, though, sometimes PokeMMO finds that road and then stops in the middle, and I don't know why. A good example of, and it's probably just behind the scenes stuff, but it's really frustrating as a player, right? A good example of this is the 2080 Horde split. If you don't know, about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, a while ago at this point, about 1 month after Johto released, so this is about 2 years ago now, they wanted to change the way that hordes worked to essentially add an extra difficulty into the game and have it be more congruent with wild encounter rates. So a good example is Tynamo, right? Tynamo is a rare single encounter, okay? But you could get it 50-50 with Tynamo and Joltik in one of the caves doing ×5 hordes, right? So instead, they wanted to change it to where Dynamo's horde was only a 20% chance to appear, and Joltik was 80%, better matching the single encounter rate in that cave. So they did that with Dynamo. They did it with like Dragon's Den, like Dratini. Dratini Magikarp, one of the most famous examples. If you go shiny hunt in Dragon's Den with ×5 hordes, there's a 20% chance for Dragonite hordes to appear and an 80% chance for Magikarp. I really like this because it makes things like Dratini possible to be a ×5 horde, whereas previously that would have been really silly, in my opinion. It makes them a ×5 horde hunt, but makes them a more difficult hunt, right? I'm gonna bring up the calculator. When a calculator will be over in the left side of the screen for this demonstration. So in a normal ×5 horde hunt, it's about 30 hours for a shiny, right? So 30 hours to ×5 horde, you have about 1,000 encounters per hour. However, with Dratini and Magikarp, on average, you're going to get 4 shiny Magikarps on the way to 1 Dratini, which kind of stinks. We'll talk about that in a quick sec. That's 5 shiny hunts There's a 20% chance. 5 shiny hunts for 1 Dratini. So it's 5 shiny hunts times 30 hours. That makes still at times the method is not changed. It's still a times 5 horde shunt, but it's a 150 hour hunt for a rarer. It added layered difficulty to times 5 hordes. We used to just have times 5 hordes and Lepa times 5 hordes, and that was it. Now we have times 5 hordes, Lepa times 5 hordes, 20-80 splits, and like all these 50-50 splits, like all these other different ones, right? And it makes it more layered difficulties, and you want that. You want as many difficulties as possible in your game to some extent, because then it allows players to choose what they want to do based on their skill level and based on their energy that day. Okay? Cool, right? The problem is, pragmatically, on the way to Dratini, you end up with 4 shiny Magikarps to 1 Dratini. Nobody needs 4 Magikarps. I love shiny hunting. I love duplicates for the most part. 4 is ridiculous, okay? 2 is cool because you get Magikarp and Gyarados. Most people don't even want that. I like that. I love having both Magikarp and Gyarados, okay? But who needs 4? Nobody, right? So what I suggested immediately was, and a lot of people caught on this, we would love to see better distribution for these shunts. So instead of 20-80, why not make it 40-40-20? Have 40% chance for Magikarp, 40% chance for Horsey, which makes sense thematically in Dragon's Den, and then 20% chance for Dratini. That way, on average, you'll end up with 2 Magikarp, 2 Horsey, which you could make a Horsey, Kingdra, whatever, and Magikarp and Gyarados, and then 1 Dratini on the way to that. Still a difficult shunt, just more variety and less 4 times shiny Magikarps in people's things, right? Back to the car analogy, okay? We discovered this. We all talked about this. We thought this was the path they were going on. They made the they did the 20-80 horde split, right? And then they never added the increased variety, and I don't know why. It felt like when I see and I love the PokeMMO devs. They make an ingenious game, an amazing game. I see them on the right paths and do amazing things. And I respect and I love the slow and steady. I'd rather prioritize slow and steady in an MMO than most other games, right? I respect the trickling in of hidden abilities. Maybe a little bit more faster, but mostly still trickling in, right? I like a lot of the systems they do that are slow and steady. However, why do we pick the path and then also stop? That's what I don't understand. That's what it feels like to me. I just wanted to express these thoughts in a visual format. I'm curious your guys' thoughts. I love PokeMMO. I trust the development team. Please be charitable in discussion. If people start saying things like, oh, they're just trying to milk the players for money. Oh, they're stupid. They don't care. You're going to get like deleted comments. Like, these are not productive. If you actually care about solving problems in PokeMMO, you need to control your emotions and stay productive in your discussion, or else you're going to muddy the actual good discussion for everybody else and hurt the game. I always encourage that. Please don't do that. But yeah, I don't know. It must just be behind the scenes things. I'm curious, and I wonder, and I don't know why they just feel like they stop. And maybe I'm just assuming that maybe I'm assuming too much that we're on the same path with the devs, right? And I would love more communication. It all comes down to more communication would solve all of this, right? I would love to see us stop stopping, if that makes sense. Find the path and stick to it and have a beautiful roadmap in PokeMMO. Thank you for coming on my TED Talk. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like the video if you enjoyed it as always. Dislike if not. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. Follow me on Twitch for streams like this, Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. And if you want to support the channel and go above and beyond, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal/Venmo donations allow me to do all this stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you guys later. Peace, Reno.